Hey guys, this is Women's Grandmaster Sabina Fischer. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, 15 minutes or less day-to-day chess games analysis. Thank you so much all for your feedback. I'm going to keep it in mind and improve my videos. This is day 6 and counting. For today I have prepared a very beautiful game between Bobby Fischer and Mark Taimanov. This game was played in their candidates quarterfinal match in Vancouver in 1971, and this is game 4 of their match. A very quick background on this game and how they ended up playing this match. Well, it starts a year earlier in 1970. There was an interzonal tournament that was played in Mallorca, Palma de Mallorca, and there 8 players qualified. And these players had to play the next year, match among each other, and then the winners kept eliminating the others, and eventually the final winner would get to challenge the world champion, which at the time was Boris Spassky. So this is the first match that took place between Fischer and Taimanov. The other matches that took place in the same year were Petrosian against Hübner, Korchnoi against Geller, and Larsen against Ullmann. So this is game 4 of the match between Fischer and Taimanov, and at this point Fischer was actually leading 3-0. So let us see how Taimanov chose to approach the match with 3 games down. He actually chose to play his own variation, the Taimanov variation in the Sicilian, which is known to be quite a tactical and not very clear position for black. So it's an interesting choice of opening. Castle, knight takes d4, queen takes d4. And now the idea of the Taimanov variation in the Sicilian compared to other Sicilians is that black can take out their bishop in c5 with tempo, of course. Normally we would see this pawn in d6 and the bishop in e7, or the dragon with g6, bishop g7. But in general, black develops this bishop in e7. So this is the Taimanov variation with the bishop in c5. Developed there with tempo, bishop f4. Queen d3 is another possibility here. And black would continue d6, and it's just another variation for white. But Fischer went for bishop f4. Because he was leading 3-0, I hope you don't think that he was thinking of making a draw. No, come on, it was Fischer. He didn't have that in mind. He actually was happy with the trade of the queens, because now after bishop takes d4, bishop takes c7. If you capture in c3 to double my pawns, you're actually giving your bishop pair. And after d5, trying to open up a little bit your position to develop this bishop in c8. Because if you don't do it, I will be playing e5, and you might end up staying with this bishop in c8, unable to develop. Or you would eventually give up 1 or 2 pawns away. So, I'm sorry. After d5, e takes d5, knight takes d5, bishop e5, and if f6, bishop d4, white has a very good position. Although these pawns are double, they are not as weak with the bishop in d4. Black won't be able to play e5 because there will be problems on this diagonal, and if black will play b5, a4 is coming, creating free pawn, but in the same time weak pawn on the a file. So this was what Fischer probably was expecting to happen in the game, but Taimanov went for d6. Okay, queen d2, h6. So far it's still theory. Nowadays this line is still played in the Taimanov system. e5, bishop e3, and now bishop g4. More recently, king e7 or bishop e6 have been played. If you're interested in playing this with black, make sure you check some games out. If you like this bishop g4, it is still playable. But the game went actually like this: bishop takes c5, d takes c5. Of course, black is happy, although he's trading a nice bishop on this diagonal. In fact, looking at the pawns, we see that it's a bad bishop, so he's happy to trade it. In addition, he gets rid of his weak pawn d6. Now, the rook in d1 is hanging, so we have to play f3. Bishop goes back, and now f4. A very typical idea in structures where these e-pawns are being blocked. So white is trying also to open up the position with black's king in the center. Rook d8, knight d5. We still have that outpost, so we want to make sure we make a good use of it. This move is quite forced, otherwise we're going to move the queen. I might want to capture in e5, and then in f6 you'll have at least double pawns, if not more material damage. Bishop takes d5. Of course, with the bishop, because with the knight, what's going to happen afterwards? We're going to move this bishop, and my next move is going to be f takes e5, and it's going to be killing on the e file. Bishop takes d5, e takes d5, and now e4. This was Taimanov's idea to white. As you can see after the trade, e takes d5, white is creating a free pass pawn that's going to be defended after c4. And black is trying to do the same after e4. He's eventually thinking that at some point he will be playing f5 and keeping that pawn defended, and it will be quite equal. Besides, black wants to keep the position closed because white has a bishop, and keeping the position closed would annoy this bishop. This bishop won't have big play. So in this position, c4 would be possible, but I really like the move that Fischer chose here. Rook f e1, and of course he had something planned against rook takes d5. Take a moment to see what's happening here. Fischer went for rook takes e4. Check. Very beautiful. Of course, knight takes e4 is not possible because we are going to be losing many things here after queen takes d5. The knight is hanging, the king is in the center, so king d8 is quite forced, and now queen e2. Another good move to trade some more pieces off the board. Rook takes, queen d7. Taimanov went for the endgame, which is a little bit surprising because it's quite clear that the bishop is better than the knight. There are pawns on both sides, and I hope you know that when there are pawns on both sides, for the bishop it's very easy to control both sides, whereas for the knight you have to jump many times to get from one side of the board to the other. So that is the reason why in this position I would have chosen to play maybe king c8, and now after rook e5, maybe rook e8 to try to trade the rooks and keep some possibilities with the queen and knight. Maybe we can create some mating threats. But he went for queen d7. Queen got traded off the board, and here please take a moment to find a really good move for white. And white is such a great move. Fischer played rook e5. A very beautiful move, attacking both b7 and c5 and forcing black to play b6. And now you're going to see how white is slowly creating weaknesses in black's position. Now another very good move, bishop f1. Why bishop f1 and not bishop b7? Well, with both moves, black is going to play a5. The question is, what are you going to do afterwards, after black plays a5? Where do we want to put this bishop? Because on this diagonal, it's staying great, but it doesn't really attack anything. So the other weakness that we can see in black's position is this f7 pawn. So we realize that we want to put the bishop on this diagonal. That's why bishop f1. And after a5, bishop c4. Forcing black to play rook f8. So now black is passive. What do we have to do? Improve our position. What is the next piece that is not staying that great right now? The king. So Fischer improved the position of his king. King g2, king d6, king f3, knight d7. Black is trying to push white away and possibly move this pawn to try to exchange some pieces if possible. King pawn endgame would be good. Rook e3, knight b8, thinking knight c6, d4 or b4, trying to get some counterplay. Rook d3 check, passivizing a little bit black. Now c3, because anyways this knight was going to come to c6 and have some ideas, as I mentioned, so c3 is a good move, not only stopping black from activating his knight, but at the same time is putting a pawn on the black squares. When we have a white color bishop, we want to make sure we put the pawns on black squares, always the opposite square of our bishop, so that the bishop controls some squares and the pawns the other squares. Rook e3. This rook, as you notice, is still passive there. King d6, a4. This is a very good stopping move. It's not allowing black to try any kind of ideas with knight a7, maybe b5, and try to get some pawns traded. Knight e7, h3. Just a quiet move, you know. He could have just played h4 directly, but he went for h3 first. Now h4. Notice that Fischer has put his pawns on black squares, not g4. f4, g3, h4. Okay, h5. Now, maybe I'm getting ready to play some g4, g5. So here, okay, black is playing h5. This is very good for us because this is going to be a target later on in the game. Not exactly h5, but the pawns on white square. Rook d5, forcing black to make another pawn move on another white square, f5. Rook d2. Okay, these are just some, you know, improving rook, the position of the rook a little bit. Rook e3, g6. Bishop b5, but don't worry, I'm not going to give my bishop away for that c6 knight. Rook d6, king e2, where black is trying to activate his rook. Okay, that's not going to happen. King d8, rook d3. Actually, now we're happy with the rook trades because the bishop is going to be better than the knight. King c7, the rooks got traded off the board. And this is a very famous endgame. Maybe you have seen it before. If not, try to take some moments to think about your plan as white. How are you going to win this game? Well, quite simple. If you ask Fischer, with the bishop, we're going to start attacking g6, passivizing black's knight. Then our king is going to come towards b5 and win some pawns there. And eventually there's going to be some Tuzvang position, and that is how white is going to win this endgame. King d3, bishop e8, and notice the knight is passive now. King d5 check. You cannot keep me from coming to c4. Check, nor to b5. So I've put my king on the best position at this moment, and my bishop the same. Now, knight c8, of course, you cannot capture here. Please don't fall for little tricks like this. So white has to be very careful here. Bishop c6 check. King c7, bishop d5. Now I have a square. In case you give me check, I can go to a6. Black played knight e7, bishop f7 again. King b7. Now, as you can see, knight c8, d6 is the next threat. The bishop is going to improve his position a little bit, keeping black's knight there, but now not necessary to defend the pawn, but just controlling this diagonal for the moment. And now I managed to bring my king to a6. So I've improved my king's position a little bit more, and now black doesn't have king moves because this pawn is going to be lost, so knight c8 is the only move. Giving the move, knight c6, bishop f7, bishop e8. So we've got to this position, and black is in Tuzvang. He cannot move the knight because the pawn is hanging. He cannot move the king because this pawn is hanging. But eventually he had to move one. Beautiful bishop takes g6 here. Knight takes, king takes b6, and it's just a matter of some more moves until White won this game. I really hope you enjoyed this game, and I'm going to show you one more of their match. Stay tuned for another one tomorrow.